Madness, you can't talk about the PP. That's a Discord thing. It's a special Discord thing. Oh shit. Oh my god. Right. I will be right back. And then we'll start. Do I get another cup of tea? Yeah, I'm gonna have a cup of tea. I'll be right back. It hurt. It was more complicated. There was too many cats around my house. And then things happened. And then stuff. Right. How do I get my face to work? There's probably some buttons being pressed in it. There we are. Oh, look at me. I'm a beautiful potato today with a big spot on his head. Oh, man. Look. I've got, right. Let's make music slightly less loud. There we go. Perfect. Something like that. Probably something like that. Let's do that. Maybe like that. So, hello. How's everyone doing? I would like to do a special message before anything else happens to Sergeant STG 3v3 RS Man, who donated 100 subs last time I streamed because he is mad. Thank you very much for that. You are a legend amongst people, men, women, children, all of my viewers. And thank you very much, Michael Ike, for becoming a YouTube member. And Mantis, next person to ask for the Carrick is cursed with a small PP. Only way to break the curse is to donate. And we are currently making a PP emote on the Discord, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to give someone a prize, a Star Citizen-based prize, if they make me a good PP emote. That is the letters PP, as in PayPal, or something. I mean, if you're reading more into that, that's you. However, Zin has a tiny PP. That's all I know. That's what's been said regularly in the Discord yesterday. I don't know why. I sort of jumped in and out of conversations and was just, however, it's now making its rounds between me and Zin in emails. The message, not the... Shite, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated as well. Hello and welcome to some more Gib Citizen. Gib Carrack, please. So, okay. I've talked about this a few times, and I'll just very briefly talk about what I'm going to do here. So CIG occasionally offer me ships with major releases, some minor releases, things like this, that they will give to me to literally just give away to my audience, no strings attached. Other than I probably have to say, CIG have given me these or whatever. And I've been reluctant to accept anything from CIG like that. Anything that's financial, monetary game, or ships or anything like that. I mean, I'll happily accept office tours from them. If they want to allow me to get more access to Star Citizen, go team. But I've been sort of like, I've got mixed feelings on it, and I've done polls and stuff before, and I've had people say, it's about 80% people say take ships and give them away. There's no problem if it's no strings attached. Like, genuinely, just be blunt and honest about it. And 20% of people say sort of like, don't it could damage your reputation, or there's always strings attached, or it's a slippery slope, or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a poll later today, probably, or for this weekend. If CIG offer me anything, I've got a plan, sort of what to do with it. And that would be, would people be all right with me doing some form of charity event, which is... trying to step away from promoting my channel as much as possible and do something good with free things. Get people into Star Citizen community, give away something free, and promote charity, something that is objectively good, so people can go, you're not wasting the free things that are giving you, and you're promoting something that's not just for your pure monetary gain. Michael Ike, why the Banu Merchantman, Lamau? Why have you given me money? I'm talking... What? He's giving me $100. That's proper dollars, not New Zealand dollars like Robert Johnston. I love you, Robert Johnston, by the way. Thank you for the vast amount of money that you've given me, even though that's New Zealand dollars. No, thank you so much. Michael Ike. Oh, wow. I mean, what do you want me to do with the Banu Merchantman? Do you need the Banu Merchantman? I'll do a video on the Banu Merchantman. When I get back. So I'm away this weekend. I'm flying tomorrow to Manchester. It's nothing Star Citizen-y. Well, I'm seeing Zin and Cameron. Zin, who's going to be working for me, doing editing for me, and Cameron, who is sort of like looks after all the CIG employees in the office. He's sort of like it's like their well-being and he organises events for CIG, but his job is to look after the employees. I'm seeing him. We're going to see Baby Metal because I love Japanese girls screaming about chocolate. Who doesn't? So we're going up to Manchester and we're staying in an Airbnb and we're going to have delicious foods. Raging Sage, I don't know if I already said this, but thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. 30 months! Oh my god. Sorry, I keep on looking at the $100 Mike Ike's giving me and sort of like smiling, like, people give me money to talk shit on stream. I'm good at talking shit on stream. I'll tell you that for nothing. Or for $100. Michael, if anything I could do for you, drop me an email. Contact at boredgamer.co.uk if I can do a topic or cover your org or something on me. I feel like I need to give stuff back for that. If anyone wants to ask questions, question in brackets, I'll try and answer. It could be about Star Citizen, it could be about mental health, it could be about me, it could be about YouTube, it could be about whatever you fucking want. And I'll try and answer. But with Star Citizen stuff, for the most part, I have the same level of information access that you would, that anyone would. So, yeah, I'm at Baby Metal this weekend. I say this weekend. I'll be back on Sunday, and I'm planning to get a video out on Sunday because this week some stuff should be happening. So 4.1 should be going on the roadmap. I would expect the 3.8.2 build potentially to go back into first wave or either CARTI access and the Carrick to be released for testing in the PTU build. That is my expectation. Almost certainly they're going to be getting the live build of 3.8.2 and the Carrick out next week to live. So end of Friday next week. That would be my expectation though, unless there's something that's not finished yet. We've got later on tonight. Sorry, someone just said $100 strip club fund in Manny. Wow. No, that's not the plan with that. It can be. I'll chuck it in the hard drive fund. People want to chuck money at me for drinking in Manchester on the weekend. Be my guest. But please say if that's the case. Anything else will be used sensibly for BoredGamer and more coverage of Star Citizen. I think that's fair, right? But yeah, so back on Sunday. So we've got other things happening as well. We've got the 4.1 roadmap, hopefully on the roadmap. There should be some pretty interesting things on there, including the Mercury Star Runner we already know about, but I would also expect to see some of the cards that had been moved off, potentially even salvage, things like that, back on those cards. And it might be a bit of an indication of some of the stuff that we might see at CitizenCon as well. We've got later tomorrow, we should know what's happening with the Crytek versus CIG lawsuit. It's potentially they've settled. Potentially the case will continue, and the most likely outcome at the moment is that the case will be dismissed to some degree. So that could be dismissed with prejudice, or it could be dismissed without prejudice. And Crytek might be liable for CIG's legal fees. They might not. We'll have to see what the judge says. But they may have settled. They might have settled already, and they just haven't told us. But we should find out tomorrow what's going on with that. My first donation on YouTube. Thank you very much. Jonas Arnold, just because your content is amazing and keeps me informed about one of my favourite games. Thanks for being there, Bored. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. We do not need a donation train. I was taking the piss a bit. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. And thank you very much for popping your YouTube donation, Paris, Jonas Arnold. Oliver Braun, keep up the great stuff, dude. Thank you very much. I will try and keep up whatever the stuff that I'm doing is. But very much appreciated. Thank you very much. There's an interesting dynamic between creators and viewers, and that's people that do creation for content creation as their job. They want money, they just do, and they can't do it without money. But at the same time, you want to keep your audience happy and not be a bit of a douche. So, I mean, maybe I am a douche. But when people give you money and stuff, it's sort of like, what? Why? Why are you giving me money? I don't feel like I deserve it, but I also want it. It's a weird dynamic. At least I tell you how it is as I see it. I know that. Thank you very much for Andrew Hickenbottom. I already thought you were a YouTube member this month. Maybe you weren't. Thank you very much appreciated for becoming a YouTube member. So what else is happening this weekend? So yeah, I do think I think it's possible that we will see the Carrack this weekend, at least at Eva Carty. That would be my expectation of that. Trying to think what else. Oh. I'm not very good at yeah. There's some stuff I find out from CIG from emails and such that isn't necessarily NDA'd, but it's sort of like a written rule of don't talk about it until we announce it. So I occasionally get little emails like that. So and then stuff like that I worry works into my language, like a day before. Well, don't worry. Forget what I said. So what I would like to say is, yeah, I think that we're going to potentially have the Carrack this weekend for Eva Carty. If not, then it will be during the week or and live next week. The Carrack's not going to have a huge amount of gameplay with it when we first get it. Well, I suppose it is. It's this beautiful multi-role ship. Let's bring up this for you to have a look at. As long as there's no weird pictures up here. So we've got... The Carrack has been modified a good amount since CitizenCon. So a lot of people are upset the way it looked. And they've done a lot of new artwork to it. They've tweaked various aspects of it and obviously applied the much higher detail textures and gone through its various passes now. I really like these cargo pods. They are very Battlestar Galactica, and that's what they are modelled on. The ship's actually pretty big. It's 125 meters. I've got the shapeology that people wanted on the rear engines. They are not all engine. These are just the round parts of the engine, but they've sort of like got the same thruster shape. I want to see what it looks like when it's actually moving now, the Carrack, because people didn't like this sort of like lackluster blue sort of like hover of it when it was flying around the space. They wanted the big thrusty engines. Oh, it does actually come out a bit. Okay. A bit more 3D than I thought. The mapping room, in my opinion. So this is where you're going to be doing your mapping and your planning, where you're going. At least that's the expectation of the mapping room. This needs more work. This is sort of like very lackluster at the moment. You want the feeling of coming into the map in the Mass Effect sort of like games, going, I can see the universe, and I want to go here, and we'll go here, and we'll do this. So you want that sort of feeling rather than just sort of like a cold blue room where you'd have like a, you know, this dude could be a serial killer. That's how this feels. It needs more to it. And I think that's one of the problems with the Carrack for me, actually. Obviously, well, quite possibly the lighting will be tweaked, but it's very cold and clinical, isn't it? You look at these corridors, it's sort of like, you might get a bit depressed from running around in them. Well, this has got enough lighting, and this looks bright and light. But this sort of like the blue and slightly shadowy grey feel of the ship when you're in long-term expeditions. I'm going to brighten mine up since we can put flair in ships with plants and all that sort of stuff. And if we can colour it in the future, we should have some sort of aspects of the ships we can customise internally as well, potentially with paint jobs. Something similar to the Origin series of ships. They do colours very well in very simplistic environments. So yeah, it would still look clinical, but it would be bright white and that sort of creams and that sort of stuff with quality accents. I think that looks good, but it's just very very dark. This is one of the gantries above the, I believe, cargo pods. Got one of the turrets there. Got more parts of the repair room, the workshop room. Seemingly you can repair components and stuff like that there. What else have we got? Bathroom. Lots of bleach. I think this area is part of, well, it's either a mini armory or it's part of the sort of like sleeping berth for the crew. Really looking forward to physicalized components and physicalized inventories in game. Thank you very much, Dalamars.
This weekend on me, cheeky smiley face, probably going to my local bar, Citizen.
No worries at all, Dalamars. Thank you very much. I will try and have a cheeky one on you. I hope you have a good bar citizen. So I'm going to try and get to more bar citizens in the UK over the next year. I'm feeling a bit better about travelling now. Although I'm pretty anxious at the moment for Paper Mail tomorrow, but that's because of all the virus outbreak stuff, and everyone's sort of worried about it. And my mother's like, "Oh, you're going there? And, oh, will there be people from other countries there?" Like, where's this conversation going, Mother? But she's worried about the spread of the virus. But I was like, I think it'll be fine. Ace of Fox, thank you very much. Because the community legit needs you, thank you. I appreciate this much. Vaughn Doubleday. Vaughn Doubleday? Thank you grateful for your content. Thank you very much. Joy, thank you very much. Vaughn Doubleday. $20 is a lot of money. Buy a pint without prejudice. Thank you very much. Nick Deschreifer. Deschreifer? Deschreifer. Is it Schreifer? Deschreifer? One day I'm gonna learn how to say people's names and use the English language. Well, not that that's necessarily English language, people's names, but you know what I mean. What else we got? No mirrors, no real mirrors yet. This isn't a real mirror. What's it reflecting? A fake. A fake! We need real mirrors. Hashtag real mirrors. Yeah, I'm looking forward to repair mechanics mixed with those physicalized components. Yeah. Got like power drills and stuff going on here. I want to use a power drill. Corvus Null, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. Start singing stuff for you. Yeah, I think that that little locker room is part of the sleeping berth. That makes sense because there's lots of bags around. Hopefully we can move the bags. There's like set dressing, but you know, I haven't put those bags there. That's just messy. But okay, the sleeping berths have got a bit more brightness to them, but it's still sort of like very it's a bit Nostromo, isn't it? Is it Nostromo I'm thinking of? It's Alien I'm thinking of, but I get just a weird vibe I get from the ship that's internally in some of the areas. At the moment, I mean, these are work in progress, as you can see, and based on the words work in progress. And obviously this is grey box, or white box, in fact, some of this. So, really looking forward to the Carrick. Do think we're going to have it in some form this weekend for at least Eva Carty, and that would be my expectation. There's a lot going on with it. So, it's got drones, it's got a medical room, it's got a repair room, it's got a load of crew space for 6 crew, it's got a mapping room, it's got other stuff, it's got room for the Ursa Rover and the Pisces, which it comes with. It comes with the C8 as standard, and you can upgrade to the C8X, or you have previously been able to upgrade to the C8X. But I suppose you could replace those in there anyway. I'm very much looking forward to that ship. But it's not going to have the true exploration gameplay. That's going to come slowly with Star Citizen from patch to patch to patch to patch, patch to patch. But really, we need more points of interest. The sort of like dynamic mission system as part of that, so they can sort of like dynamically generate these interesting things and anomalies. We need to be able to scan, much better scanning mechanics, and then be able to save locations as data. And then as you get more and more of these mechanics together, and they sort of build them out more and more and more, then we've got more of a exploration mechanic or exploration gameplay loop. But there's a lot that needs to get done for that. I mean, you can, and I think exploration is not just going to be you flying off and trying to find jump points so that you can fast travel around the universe a bit quicker. It's going to be people going to the edges of a solar system and going, let's just keep on going. So it's going to be exploring in that sense as well. So it's not necessarily from system to system to system, but on the edges of systems and just keep on going. You see what I mean? And there can be interesting points of interest generated there. So what else have we got? I could probably start talking about questions and things, because there's quite a lot of people chatting here. What have we got this week? Anything interesting? Oh, yes, so on Friday at 7 PM, we've got CIG doing a Prison AMA. Fantastic. On Spectrum. Check that out. I think that will be a good laugh. More community interaction, the better sort of stuff. We've got this week, sort of later today, so in probably like 4-ish hours or more, 4 or 5 hours, we should see a Inside Star Citizen looking at planetary content, so Planet Tech V4, the creation of the new moons for Microtech, stuff like that, and they are looking at more into the CARRACK. So we're getting very, very, very close to the CARRACK release. So either some form of release this weekend, as I said, or next week. But really, really, really soon. It's really soon, and you can taste it. If I can get hold of a CARRACK, then I would potentially give one away. I'm pretty low on ships. I bought a load of game packages with arrows and Cutlass Blacks recently, but that's the only sort of ships I have to give away left. Do you have any insider information when the CARRACK will actually be playable? It should be live by the end of next week. I don't have much in the way of insider information beyond what you do, but it's looking like they want to, they're keeping to releasing the CARRACK in February. I'm BoredGamer's biggest fan. Meow. I appreciate that. Ahoy. Hope everyone is doing well. Look here. Could you work with any other YouTubers? Yeah. I'm happy to work with most other YouTubers, as long as they're not sort of abrasive or really fucking annoying. Because I think I'm abrasive and fucking annoying enough for everyone. Thank you very much for the sec. Zark Media. Not Dark Media, Zark Media. About using ships gifted to you as a means to get people into the game. Do it. We already have ships. Find me. What? Wait. I can't see the rest of your message. What? Huh. Find more people for the verse if you can. Bam. Yeah. Just my window size. That was weird. You watch me wherever you want if you would like to watch me. It is easy from both places. All places. What have we got? Oh my god, there's lots of people talking about PPs and things. Right, let us go. Let us go through here. Question in brackets if you'd like me to try and answer one of your questions. So I'm planning to, as soon as we have the CARRACK in game and is playable in game, like legally, not leave a card or whatever, we'll do some gameplay. People want to get involved from the stream, probably semi pre-organized stuff if people want to get in on the Discord. So I'll add you, you can add me. We'll fly around the CARRACK, do some missions, get some B-roll, do some streams on that, just sort of like just grinding missions and chatting as we go. Try and do some interesting stuff with it. But I want to start potentially. I want to start playing the game on stream regularly and getting the community a bit involved and getting the BoredGamer organization a bit more organized, so that we can play and get some cool stuff done. So that it's a bit warm for when Zin comes along and sort of takes that over, because she's going to be community manager as well, pretty much. Her and Huntress for the most part. Yeah, I want to start playing more. We've got long-term persistence coming in, and if it's coming in any shape or form that's, makes the game accessible to, like, get a hammerhead. Like, if I get a hammerhead in 3 months from buying it with Alpha UEC, and I can keep it until next year, or 4.0 or 4.1 or something, that's fucking great. That's genuinely great. Like, How far have we come with Star Citizen? We can actually play it like a game. What else have we got? I mean, oh my god. People saying lots of PMs as well. Is the Carrack not going to hit the PTU straight to PU? I would expect it to be tested by Eva Carty this weekend. That's been my expectation. Because there are possibilities that there are problems, like, you know, death boxes and things like that in the ship where you would, like, die and suffocate. Anubis, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Any stars. A lot of people have chucked a lot of money and subs at me today. Very much appreciated. I will, I'll have a wall of honor or something that I put up on the website. I need to list people that have donated and Patreoned for large amounts of money from month to month a bit better at the end of videos or something. I'll think of something. I love the smell of the Carrick in the morning. And we'll certainly get some Carrick emotes done. Montana kid, if only I could have a fatty bumbati before starting streaming. It is unfortunately not legal in my country yet. Oh, Sod White, is it daytime? Is the sun out? I would love, and maybe I will start to get just a little bottle of either some nice rum or some nice bourbon to the side of me, and occasionally have a little swigette of it. What else have we got here? Oh my god. Oh, maybe we'll work backwards in this. Oh, jeez. Where's my Carrick? You should use your massive influence. That's what the ladies call it. Ow! He's still got it. He's got it. You should use your massive influence and get CIG to move on and release it. They just want to release it before the end of February. So likely to be released live next week, but likely to be tested this weekend. The scanning HUD has IR, EM, CS, and RS. What is RS? I'm not sure if I know. I don't know. Maybe it's radio? I'm not sure if I know what RS is. It could be radio or audio waves. Do you know what I mean? Do you play Star Citizen on your Shadow PC? I have played it on my Shadow PC, and I always do a bit of a test and a mess around with every live patch with Shadow to make sure it works. I've also tested Star Citizen on the new Shadow hardware as well, that's going to be released a little bit later. How's your weight loss going? Very well. It's much slower now, though. Like, the first sort of like couple of weeks I did it and was stuck to my diet really well. I lost like 6 pounds or something, like straight away, bam, bam, bam. But now it's sort of like maybe 1.5 pounds a week sort of thing I'm losing. Much harder. If anyone else is going to Baby Metal, poke me on Twitter or something. Happy to meet up for a drink and say hi. When do you think we will get the 3.8.2C Carrick? Do you think that CIG set high expectations with long-term persistence? Will the community take future wipes well? No, so the thing is CIG is still going to wipe, obviously. But if we have 6 months of uninterrupted wipes, that is a lot more reason to play than previously what we've had. It's just constantly random little wipes as well within the 3 months. Just really, really sort of like smash down your confidence for those sort of things. But I think people are aware that wipes will still happen. It's just if CIG can get long-term persistence in and have it working to a certain degree. I voted with my wallet and asked for a $220 refund from a year's worth of Emperator. Am I being too brash? I just believe with what it currently offers and how CIG are acting, I need to. you'd have to, when you request that, or if you've already requested that, make sure you request it in a very particular way. The thing with the subscription stuff is that you at lots of points over a year, you would have had a chance to stop your subscription, but stopping it a year later, you've already basically received a product, even if you didn't like it. So sort of bear that in mind, Honeydew. It's not telling you how to spend your money or what to request as a refund or whatever, but just make sure you word that in an appropriate manner. Making a statement's good and fine, I think. So, with CIG's content, a couple of weeks ago, we had Bobblehead Gate, and for a while, we'd had quite lackluster videos, and every time they released a major patch, they have a 3-week hiatus, and CIG's video and community content was not great, and we hadn't had updates to the roadmap, and some of the roadmap had been gutted, and it was the community side of and video side of showing off the development was in a bit of a bad place, and lackluster is what it was. And CIG were generating like 3 to 3.5 million a year in voluntary subs that pay towards getting some of that content done, and it just didn't feel like you were getting even a fraction of that really in worth. But over the last week or so, CIG have had some very good stuff coming out from inside Star Citizen and Star Citizen Live. And sort of like they're trying some new content and things. So we've got the AMA this week and stuff like that. So I'm going to give it another couple of weeks, see if they're improving now with a bit of the kick up their arse. But if they're not, then yeah, watch CIG and see what they do and see if they're providing enough video content for you if you have a subscription. Are you getting what you want from your subscription? Yes or no? And then make your decision accordingly. As I said, I'm not going to tell people what to do. I can tell you what I'd do and stuff like that. And at the moment, I'm watching CIG to see what they do with their community content. Is the roadmap update delayed again? No, we should see it tomorrow. 4.1. Does long-term persistence also save ships SCU stored? Or does that still get erased on disconnections? Okay, so what you should see between patches, they wipe the databases still, but you should see your ship purchases, your Alpha UEC, and your items, and yeah, items stored. But beyond that, I don't think it saves anything else. So your mission reputation, I don't think stored. I don't think it stores your SCU of your ships. Or your cargo that the ship currently has on it. It might, but I don't think it does. It depends on how the database stores that information. Hey bud, with all this gibboning, are people setting themselves up for potential disappointment? Well, yeah, people are setting themselves up for potential disappointment in all things. But, I mean, people want the Carrack. A lot of people are excited about the Carrack. We know what's coming with the Carrack, though. We've seen it for the most part. You can see some other ship here on screen. It's not going to have the huge exploration mechanics to start with, but it's going to be a really, really great medium-sized, sort of like for a medium crew ship. Have I got the wrong size? Have I done this in the wrong size? It's going to be a beautiful multi-crew, multi-role ship for use in the... Yeah, sorry, I was massively zoomed in. Apologies. But yeah, the Carrack's going to be really useful for orgs and for people to have that sort of like... do a bit of everything in the game to quite a high level with a crew of up to 6 people. And I think I'll be able to run it with like just 2 or 3 people as well. The Star Runner is not really set up for exploration given its scanning, but do you think the scanner could be swapped out for an exploration scanner to make it an exploration ship? I think you could certainly focus it more towards exploration by giving it more exploration type gear. And you'll be able to do this with a load of ships. You'll be able to get them slightly more focused at least towards whatever you want them to do. They might not be as good as a ship that is dedicated or focused from its hull to do that, but you'll certainly have choices for things like that. And it depends on what sort of exploration you're doing as well. Like surveying is a bit different from mapping wormholes. Does platform persistence mean bed logouts will work more consistently? No. I believe they are unrelated as things at the moment. In the future, maybe they'll also tie bed data to your character, which will also be saved on platform persistence. No, as far as I'm aware, no. Let's say that. Because I don't know how all the databases link up, to be honest, and they might have like a... Well, actually, now it is connected. But I believe they're two separate things. They have made a lot of progress with bed logouts and stuff like that, though, as well, in the last few patches. What colour is Manchester? What? It's like grey? from the sky grey, and there's some areas of green there too. Bars that I recommend in Manchester, haven't been to many. I've been to places in Winslow like the Old Dancer, which I can recommend because I go there a lot. In Manchester, I've only really been to the Brewdog and Peaky Blinders. I really liked Peaky Blinders when I was there. They're not necessarily particularly cheap, those last two places. Brewdog was alright price. Old Dancer was pretty cheap though. Depends what sort of alcohols you're into. Love your channel, man. You don't need anything in return. Don't need anything in return. Oh, sorry, it's Michael Ike who's chucked a load of money at me. Love your channel, man. Don't need anything in return. Keep up the great work. I'm a 100% disabled veteran, and out of the hospital, my nurses have had to listen to you the last few months. I'm sorry that you're in and out of hospital, Michael Ike, and I'm sorry that you have to listen and watch me, and I'm sorry they have to watch me as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Jesus Christ, I need to stream. I'm broke. Peter Connor, they can't see your subscription with me. Pete, you've got no money, don't need to subscribe to me. I do appreciate it genuinely. Yeah, I appreciate anyone watching my videos, talking to me, sharing them, having a bit of a chat, giving me feedback, whatever. You can just view my stuff, and that you're a wanted, loved member of the community. I mean, loved, probably a bit strong word. Liked, reasonably liked. You're okay. You're an okay part of the community. Is that good enough? Legit question. Do you think this will be a good patch to convince friends to try playing? Sometimes it can be counterproductive to show game to friends. It depends on what they're sort of into. If they're into something where they really, really, really like getting involved with the major releases and playing that and finding bugs and messing around, yeah. Star Citizen is very much a alpha phase of you are a volunteer QA at this stage. If they want to sit down and play game, maybe not at this time. If you can get an organised group together and get them as part of like an organisation with a load of other people, yeah, then I think they'll love it because there's always something to do. NeoSet404, thank you very much. Very much appreciated for the sub. So Star Citizen is very much about that social experience at the moment. Sandbox and social experience, because it doesn't have the proper gameplay loops and mechanics in place to make the game an MMO yet. It is an instantized tourist attraction that is testing various parts of this sort of like alpha game. And you can get involved with that and have a say with that and help evolve the game and sometimes get incredibly frustrated and throw your mouse out a window. That's maybe happened once. Any news on the Polaris? Nope. No news on the Polaris yet. I think it will probably be the Banning Merchantman and the Polaris are two of the super community wanted ships as well beyond the Carrick. So I do expect those will be a focus of CIG's development in the near future. I just don't know exactly when. What do you think of people blindly following Gib over and over while core mechanics such as salvaging, etc. keep literally being delayed for years? It's not mutually exclusive. Like the game, they can... Thank you very much, Mr. Pinks. Thank you very much for the sub. All hell, Eggman. It's certainly not mutually exclusive them building ships and building mechanics. They need the core mechanics of the game done. Squadron 42 is the focus. Is it appropriate that we've had salvaging and loads of gameplay loops delayed in the persistent universe? No, it's not. It's one of the things that's annoyed me the most. CIG should be telling us at the earliest possible stage what's happening. And if they say they're going to try and get something in, they should try and get something in. They shouldn't be delayed for years and us effectively strung along. But I do understand what they're doing, and I do understand what they're developing, and I do understand that Special 42 and the core mechanics are a focus. I do see that they have built a beautiful set of tools and Planetary Tech v4, and they are building the networking stuff now, and they've got server-side object container streaming, and they are genuinely making quite large strides in progress. It's just not for the core mechanics as well. The additional gameplay loops that you need to have the game not shallow. So, yeah. Is it appropriate? No. Is that's what it is? Yeah, it is what it is. Oh, thank you so much. There's so many people. I don't know why people have chucked so much money at me today, but I do appreciate your money. Me sucking all that money teat. Did you get a new chair? No, but my $200 headrest arrived. So this is a Atlas headrest, which is designed for the Herman Miller Neo and Herman Miller, yeah, a Neo chair, whatever it is. It's like one of the most expensive chairs you can get for an office. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a really fucking expensive chair, and I did. Yeah, you see what I did. I got the headrest that just turned up. Quite nice. I was like, I sit most of the day, so I'm gonna get a chair that makes me be able to sit and not have like a destroyed back. Getting old. I'm getting old now. When we get food and drink requirements, will the hidden locker on the Avenger become usable? I don't believe. You are going to get access to food and drink stuffs and some things that will be able to create them in 3.9, I believe. I don't think the map room does look awesome. I think it could be awesome. I think it's got the placeholder elements to be awesome at the moment. But I think it's for the Carrack. I think it needs more work. It just needs to have that sort of like sense of wonder and I suppose function. Is what it is. Fine for a placeholder. Would it be possible to operate the Carrack without any crew members? Well, assuming you're there. Yes, but it wouldn't be ideal. You'd probably want a smaller exploration ship if it was just one person. You'll be able to get NPCs as well, eventually, not yet. Yeah, the Carrick has horror movie lighting. That's probably pretty accurate. It does look Amber Aerospace inside the Carrick, but I just feel that it needs to feel a bit more homely for exploration. Do you know what I mean? There does need to be the lighting there to support the I don't want to be depressed for long exploration periods. We know that lighting is directly related to people's happiness. At least that's what I've decided. Hemotoxin, thank you very much. To never do the sucky again. Oh, okay. Okay, I accept that money. I can't promise that I won't do the sucky anymore. Any news on the Polaris? Any idea when it's going to be worked on? No. I'd expect to see some progress on it this year. Does CIG only update the roadmap when they release a roadmap roundup? Once a week on Fridays with the roadmap roundup. 4 years in, I wish I could downsize my fleet greatly and just have my origin ships similar to T-Rex. I want to have fewer ships and experience the game. How can I get rid of my large pack? Grey market's potentially a good place. I mean, do it at your own risk, obviously. I not recommend that you do that, but I can suggest it. Wait, no. You know what I mean. The grey market or friends. I think people use eBay as well. I'm not sure if the... I think you're able to sell ships pretty freely on the grey market without sort of like being black marketed from CIG, because I don't think they just sort of ignore the grey market. I don't think they can give anyone any help though, customer service wise or anything that goes through it, because you know It's not their domain. They just go, right, we can't help you if there's any problems. But that's check out the Star Citizen Trades Reddit. Have a look there, have a read there, see if that's something that might be worth. Obviously, try and request a refund first. Tell me how you feel about this. Try to control me, boy, and get dismissed. What? What? Oh, $6 to immediately do this sucky. What? I can't remember what I did for the sucky now. Probably like that, because that's my Apex Legends. When I play, I often play Lifeline. That's her name. And she's got a little drone. I throw the drone out in front of Kittens in and go sucky, because they've got little tiny bits of health that are missing. And the drone is like, it gets a little straw out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Hemotoxin. Thanks for all the Star Citizen news. No worries, awesome. I'm not really sure what I was talking about there, but I don't think that was Star Citizen news. Hi, Board. What are CIG's plans on progression? Will there be leveling, skill trees, crafting? There is no leveling. There is no skill trees. Anything that you do in game is based on what equipment you have available to you. So whatever you've bought. So your assets, and then your actual personal skill at using a mouse and keyboard to convey skill in the game. So you can focus on things, your understanding and knowledge of things. Reputations is going to be a thing there as well. So you might build reputation up with particular orgs and mission givers and factions and guilds and things like that. I suppose maps and things like that. But your assets and UEC is going to be what really pushes things forward. And there's going to be, obviously, that information is going to be pretty important. And base locations and that sort of stuff. When will Theatres of War be available? They want to have it in our hands in the first half of 2020. I would expect to see some of it in either Carty from 3.9 onwards, sort of like, yeah, probably around that sort of time they might start either Cartying it. Tell me, what do you think about me? Buy my own diamonds and I buy my own rings. What? No, are you doing song lyrics at me? Is that Jello? I'm still Jenny from the block. Is it? Is that? Oh, wow. You're a monster. What else have we got here? When do you think the Aries will be released? I fly solo because no friends in game. Really, so solo flyable are my main concern. I would find an org personally, but I mean, you do you. So there is a bit of a focus on Crusader ships this year. It looks like they are building out the Hercules at the moment. They are obviously getting the Star Runner in for 4.1 is the plan. Thank you very much, Hanethcom, for the sub. Very much appreciated. And I would expect them to be working on more ships besides that as well. So it's a possibility that they could be working on it for 4.2. But we don't have enough information really to be able to draw conclusions yet. When do you think the scanning mechanic will be expanded throughout patch to patch? You'll see a lot more expanding of the scanning mechanic this year. You know when the January calling all devs will air? I don't think it's going to be done like that. I think they've been collecting questions from January onwards, and then in a week or two, you'll start seeing every other week calling all devs instead of Star Citizen Live. It'll basically be replacing Star Citizen Live with a video every other week. Is it true that quantum points will go away in the future and ships like the Carrack can map to exact points of the universe and make a jump there? So there's going to be quantum travel. There's going to be jump gates, jump points like we've seen in the demo that we're watching. There's also going to be probably, well, they said it, discoverable wormholes / jump points that aren't listed or mapped yet. that you can also use that might be temporary. Should be temporary. Will the Carrack spawn with the ship and the rover? That is a really good question. We don't know for sure yet. They have been working on the ability to spawn ship and vehicle in ship. I think they've got that plan for 3.9. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's either 4.0 or 3.9. I'm hoping they've bodged it so the Carrack just spawns with them in it for 3.8.2. This is it. Herman Miller Aeron. That's the one. My chair. What do you think the next straight to flyable ship will be? That is a really good question. There's a lot it could be. It could even be the Redeemer, or it could be Titan Suits, or it could be the Sidnus Mining Tick, or it could be something entirely different. I would expect to see a straight to flyable / drivable vehicle for 3.9 though, because they haven't had a concept sale yet. Typically they have a concept sale mid-February. They haven't done that this time, so sort of like I think maybe we'll see something for 3.9.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I don't like margarine. I much prefer the taste of butter.
Everyone does, mate. I think a margarine is actually illegal in my country. Everyone likes butter more. However, I have been having Benecol on my diet, which is sort of like a cholesterol reducing spread. It's not butter by any means. Butter's the best. I'm looking forward to eating nice food on Friday and Saturday. One of the joys of going away for the weekend and cooking for people, we have nice food. When should we expect CitizenCon tickets to be on sale? August? August time? No. June. That's when I'd expect them. Right, bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to have a very quick bio-roo. It's a bio. Oh, I can show you things in my room as well. So, I used to play a lot of Warhammer and 40k and collect those models. I used to go to Warhammer tournaments when it was fantasy battles of like the large scale battles, and now it's sort of like something terrible. But some of my friends have just got into Adaptus Mechanicus, so Adaptus Titanicus, which is sort of like a slightly bigger than epic scale. And it's about big titans fighting each other. And yeah, I used to be pretty good at painting, and so I've bought a load of titans and stuff, and I'm going to be painting and chilling out and doing them in my spare time. Maybe one day we'll do battle reports on the second channel, or something. But I've read the rule book. I'm actually pretty quick at reading now, even though I'm dyslexic. Let's show some stuff like that. Don't want to show too much, just in case you're not allowed to show people the books and things online or something. But yeah, so I'll be building some big Titan models, and playing some of that. Been collecting that, so very much looking forward to that as well. I've missed having a hobby that's not just playing computer games. At the moment, it's content creation, Star Citizen, and reading is my hobbies. But I think building models as well to chill me out might be useful. I will. We'll have some new B-roll soon, and I'll get some new B-roll footage back. But also, well, we'll have some gameplay actually playing soon. What else have we got? With all this ships, how important is becoming the implementation of the multiplayer game, and when do you think we'll see it? Well, they're building elements towards server meshing and stuff now. Like, it's obviously incredibly important. Like, Star Citizen is waiting for loads of stuff to happen, and it's all important. It's not just one thing. It's like, this thing is the most important. Sometimes you can say that, but it's sort of all of it has to come together before it's a game. And say, well, this is more important now because it's in a live and playable state. So you go, well, we need good ship combats and stuff like that. And they're trying to work on that at the moment as well. So they've got that, the ship, whatever the tail team it's called. Yeah, I would expect CitizenCon tickets to be sold in June. So is full persistence out on real servers yet? No. Not out yet. It's expected for 3.8.2 live. What do you think we can do as a community to get ships that are either functional, not all boring and grey, and in a decent state early? So far, nobody uses past awaited ships past release. I think some people do still. I think the more people that play, the more people that use ships, the more that CIG will see any bugs and anything like that. The ship experience team and just general gameplay is going to change and evolve everything anyway. We need to load the core mechanics in, and then we're going to see ship balance and stuff. So this is all Pedro's music for the most part, and this is literally the main Star Citizen theme. It's all Star Citizen themed music from the game. Yeah, we'll see dynamic resource prices and them change up and down, and people have to effectively trade on that by buying resources and things. Oh my god, there's so much going on here. Oh no. Is CIG moving on to the Merchantman after the Carrick? I think they're going back briefly to look at the 600i and to give that a bit of a tweak, and then I think they are going to have some resources on the Merchantman, I believe. Though they might change stuff around. They might have more of them working on the Hercules, but there's as more people finish their tasks for Squadron 42 as well, you should start to see more people working on ships in the Persistent Universe for the appropriate ship and level design people anyway. Will the Carrack be able to fly hours without refueling? I believe that's the plan. We don't know what sort of ability the Carrack has for generating fuel. Is it able to mine it? Is it able to refine it? It doesn't have to have huge, vast quantities of fuel. Is it super efficient? Does it need something like that? Because otherwise, to be an expedition ship, you'd expect it to be able to go out for huge periods of time, if not indefinitely, without having to come back to port. Yeah, I wouldn't see the fact that 3.8.2 isn't out live yet is going to affect 3.9 much. I think it'll be fine. Would you take a guess based on development so far on how much time it will take for CIG to release the game? It's Squadron 42 could be as released between end of this year and middle of next year. Star Citizen, there's a lot to do before it would be considered a on-the-shelf released version 1 game. And I think you're looking at, super optimistically, end of 2022 if they got all of the core stuff in, there'd still be a huge amount of stuff they need to complete. But they could say, yeah, it's sort of early access released or whatever. 2024, much more realistic date for Star Citizen Persistent Universe being released. Fataki, what is your view on player-controlled ship factories, unique ships? Okay. So, unique ships, maybe if they're incredibly large, unique ships that can change hands or something, maybe there's some sort of mechanic for that, or rare ships. Yeah, maybe. I might be okay with that. I think that'd be a quite cool mechanic, if you had like giant king ships or something, size ships. But player-controlled ship factories, again, I like the idea of crafting in Star Citizen. I like the idea that materials are used for something, and I like the idea that there's a bit of fighting over certain areas and resources. So if it's done right, player-controlled factories or larger scale crafting, maybe. We know that we're going to be able to do some base building and stuff like that on planets, and I'd like to see crafting so that we can produce our own fuel and munitions, so that if you're a pirate or an orc on the outskirts of a galaxy, you go, well, the only reason we'd need to go back to UEE or civilized space is if our base gets destroyed or we run out of materials here. Do you see what I mean? Sort of like makes sense. And I thank you very much for the bits as well. All hell the chair. I know Squadron 42 mainly interacts with Star Citizen in lore. Is that it, or will there be direct impacts such as faction rank and different start in game? So the expectation is that Squadron 42 will allow you to see certain things in like a diary, which will be retroactively filled, like your Mobigas. Your Mobigas log will retroactively get filled out with stuff that you do in Squadron 42. That might give you some more contacts, but it will allow you to access some military gear, such as these F8 C Lightning, so that the heavy fighter and stuff like that. Once you get to a certain point in Squadron 42, that will unlock the ability for you to buy or get somehow in game in the Persistent Universe. But there'll be other gear as well. So, do you think the Prowler will make it into 3.9? Yes, I do. But I'm overly optimistic and listen to what CIG say and go, that's what they're planning to do. I don't really have much more opinions than that. Like, yeah, I trust them. They disappoint me regularly on timescales and roadmaps, but, I'm still optimistic. What do you think the handling of the Carrack is going to be like? I think it would be a lot better than a ship of its size would normally be. It's done for exploration, isn't it? And it's quite small. It's supposed to be agile. It's also supposed to be pretty reasonable in a battle and stuff like that. I expect it to be pretty agile. And if it's going to explore like dangerous atmospheres and stuff, it's going to be able to, be able to take off and land easily, even in dangerous weather. What tech hurdles are we waiting for this year? Physical components, for example? Yeah. Physical components, morphing physics grids, physical damage system, more work on server-side container streaming, and work towards server meshing. And they need to get the client-to-actor, downstream, upstream stuff optimized. There's quite a lot that's coming this year. Someone complaining about autocorrect. Lupus, it's okay. Autocorrect hates you as well. For someone who's been checking in on Star Citizen development but not playing it, how much longer do you think it will be in development before a post-alpha release? Okay, yeah. Sort of talked about that earlier. In the Spanish language version, will Alpha UEC be called Pesos? I don't know. Oh, Pesos. Pesos. I see. I do get that. Do you think that the Carrack was inspired by Serenity? I think it was inspired by lots of things, including Serenity. The Serenity. Do you think the Carrack will have piloted guns at all? I mean, the Connie and the 600 have. So yeah, it should have remote turrets as well as manned. Any discussion on bed emergency pods being operational? No, not that I've had. Skate pods and that sort of stuff. They need ship to ship docking and morphing physics grids. I think done for skate pods and similar stuff. Things that should be being worked on this year. What are we waiting on development-wise to be able to physically transfer cargo and saddlebags? Just more tech. They need to work on a cargo system V2, which it should be being worked on again. So like the hull C is done for Squadron 42's needs, but it needs a bit more finished for it before it goes into the PU. One of those things is updates to cargo. They moved some of those cargo transfer systems off the roadmap, and I'd hope to see them back on for this year. I haven't heard on any Aegis exploration ships. What's your most anticipated feature for the project with Star Citizen? In the shorter term, dynamic mission system and dynamic economy, probably. There's a huge amount for me, but thank you very much. We're over there. Show the love. Appreciate it for the bits. Thank you, thank you. I'm looking to upgrade my 300i and have $100 to spend. What would you recommend ship-wise? Mercury Star Runner? Everyone likes the Mercury, right? So things like the Mercury Star Runner, the Cutlass Black, Cutlass Blue, they're all cool choices. Depends what sort of gameplay you want. Which Carrack engine design do you prefer? The original concept is the most cool. Carrick is life is a fact, yes. Vulcan ship news? No, not yet. Question who? The Orion? Any word on its priority? No words on its priority. It's really big, like the Endeavour as well, though, so it might not. It might be a while. I'm hoping to see. I'd love to see the Aries at the end of this year. That'd be absolutely great if it is. It's a small ship, so. I think after Squadron 42, they'll put everyone on the PU. Not everyone, but there will be a larger portion of people miles working on the persistent universe. But also, when Squadron 42 is done, the core of Star Citizen's persistent universe is done as well mechanically, like the core gameplay of like reversal and a load of the core engine stuff, which is means they can work on a lot more. And 99% of what they want, a huge amount of what they work on for Squadron 42 is directly usable in Star Citizen. I wonder what happened to the 3 bikes, and will they rework the planet for the bikes because there are too many rocks? Would be nice to do the Daymar rally with bikes too. You'll see. The X1 bikes. You'll see the Ranger bikes. I don't think they'll redo those. Well, they've got the new planetary tech and they've got the new Status stuff, and the planets are constantly going to be updated with like new seeds and procedural techniques and stuff. They're not going to redo any of the major planetary tech like to Planet Tech V5. Planet Tech V4 is sort of like the probably the final state, or at least framework for planetary tech. They might keep on updating that to some degree, but nothing as a massive drastic overhaul as version 3 was to version 4. Fuck me, I couldn't words. Do you play Star Citizen on your Shadow Ghost? I haven't actually used my Shadow Ghost for 3.7 onwards at all for Star Citizen or anything. I've used Shadow for every major patch though. I find Shadow absolutely fantastic to play Star Citizen with, especially when I'm not by my main PC. Do you anticipate other ship manufacturers producing competition for the Carrack? Well, yeah, we've got the Drake with its Corsair, but you'll probably see some other exploration ships or ships that can be have modules to make them a bit more explory. I wish CIG would allow us to use the garage and hangar as extra storage spaces. You will be able to in the future. Do you think we'll see use for sniper rifles and ground vehicles soon? So they're sort of like planning to... You'll see a use for them a lot more in theatres of war. It's sort of like where they plan to test them out and iterate on them a lot more as well. Do you think Cloud Imperium will put retractable wheel tanners back on the Carrack? Probably not. I know the Star Runner is scheduled for 4.1, but any other ships been announced for 4.0 yet? No, but I would expect some to be announced at some point. Things like the Taurus might be something straight to Flyable. Do you think we'll ever see a log out option when on foot? Yes. I think you'll be able to log out on foot eventually. I think they'll decide that that's okay, but there'll be some restrictions there. Like when you log back in, your character might be tired or dehydrated, or might not be protected as logging out in a bed. Is CIG planning on revisiting hover mode? There's lots of tweaks going on to the flight model and stuff like that. The current flight mode, they are for atmospheric flight. There's a huge amount of tweaks that are coming this year, including thruster power being directly affected by atmosphere and gravity. So you can have lower strength thrusters in atmosphere, and it's sort of like will be in between hover mode and the IFCS assist mode. Do you think the Carrack will have holding or jail cells? I think maybe that you'll be able to get some cargo pods and stuff like that in the future that do that function. How important do you think mapping is? I think it's important to people that want to do mapping as a gameplay loop. Do you think they will have tech to add to the range? When do you think they will have the tech to add the Rangers to the roadmap? They probably already have it now. They've got ground vehicles, wheeled ground vehicles already. Right. Question, if I have a Cutlass Black and an Avenger Titan, is it worth upgrading the Avenger to the Arrow? Maybe? I mean, I wouldn't spend any more money on stuff. I think you've got a lot of cool stuff there. I don't think there's any need to move the Avenger to the Arrow. But if you want a more focused ship for combat in there, then maybe. You'll be using your Cutlass Black the most, and you probably wouldn't get use out of the Avenger. It might be worth upgrading the Cutlass Black to the Cutlass Blue and selling the Avenger in the future once we see what the changes to the Cutlass Blue are. If I allow my M50 or Arrow in the Carrack's landing hangar when I exit the game, will it persist? It should, if you were able to get it in there. Did Cloud Imperium address the extremely jittery... Well, assuming it's landed in there appropriately. Like, as long as the cargo grid thinks it's in there. You know what I mean? So, it's appropriate for it to be landed in there. And it goes, yes, this ship has landed in here. Then yes. But if you sort of like fitted it in sideways, not hovering there, then it's two separate ships that just happen to be next to each other. One inside the other. Fancy the new redesigned HUD that the Pisces has. Will all new ships have that going forward? They are updating and upgrading all the HUDs, MFDs, and all that sort of jazz in game with the new building block system, which has massively helped UI bottlenecking. So you will see new HUDs on things. Red paint does make your ships go faster. I feel that maybe Brian Johnson, you play Orcs in 40k. With food and drinks coming soon, will it be profitable to own a bar in game? I want to know if there's actually the potential to do that form of money making from food. I mean, there are bars on ships in game already. With the Anvil Crusader Industries being the main focus for this year, you see RSI might get some love from CIG. I think that we'll see the Taurus, and I think that potentially we could see a little light rework to the cockpits and the constellations as well, maybe. I'd love to see the Polaris. I think the Polaris is a little further out. I'm not going to try sailing. I don't like leaving the house. I get anxiety constantly while sailing. So as someone who's been checking, we talked about that. If you like tabletop, look at Infinity the game and Malafax. I think some of my mates have played that. I'm gonna be playing some Adapters to Titanicus. Looking forward to that. Yeah, so the Carrick has got 3 little cargo bays, little cargo pods, all of 156 SU each. So that's 456 total. Wait. Is that right? Yeah, it is. It's right. It's right. 152. It's 152. 3 of 152 each. Which is 456 total. There. That's the one. That's the cookie. I can do maths. So they're working on full persistence and the iCache as well this year. That's incredibly important for server meshing, but also have locational information and deeper information about objects, be they ships, be they items, be they NPCs potentially as well. Why not give Citizen Con tickets away? I'd have to contact CIG and see if that was able to, you'd be able to do that. I'd have to have something special done for me because you're not able to buy Citizen Con tickets and then give them away to someone else. They're yours. See what I mean? Have you succumbed to fame arrogance yet and need space appointments to be talked to? What? I don't think so. What else have we got? I hope I will always remain, humbled by the fact that I'm just an ugly-looking potato dude on the internet that covers Star Citizen. I don't think I'm particularly, I don't think what I do is particularly luxurious. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I mean, I've met a lot of people, actually. I think I'm better than some other people. No, but do you see what I mean? I'm just a dude on the net, the computer, and I love what I do. And I'm very lucky for being able to do what I love doing. Since someone mentioned torpedoes, has there been any word on the implementation of point defense systems? So they've talked about having turrets that you can put computer blades, AI blades in that will then act as point defense systems or do derpy tasks, target certain things in the future. Basically, your point defense systems. But we don't know much more of that beyond that at the moment. Is there any way that you could get CIG put landing cameras on ships for better immersion? Yes, so they want to have the low resolution underbelly cameras again that just sort of show you where the terrain is. That's what they were saying they would like in again. Do you think cloth physics are necessary for Squadron 42? Yes. That's just exactly the sort of thing they want for Squadron 42. They want it to look super beautiful. The fancy new redesigned HUD, the Pisces hat, we talked about that already. So it says iCache. This exploration will be important and ships designed for that purpose in the far future. When this is going to be implemented, think they will have star systems released in one go. Discovery? Sorry, so they're planning to release the Pyro system, new star system this year, so 2020. And the exploration gameplay mechanics are I suppose you could just generally just go out and explore and say we're exploring, but we need better scanner implementation and tech and gameplay. We need points of interest. We need lots and lots and lots of other stuff all to come together before we have proper exploration in game. They are separate things, but exploration is going to be heavily iterated on. Do you think you'll ever get tired of Star Citizen at some point in the future? Probably. I mean, I'll certainly get tired of it in sessions. I'll be like, I need to take a break. Jeez, and play something else. I mean, I do that now. I play Star Citizen a reasonable amount each week. I cover it. I love the project. I'm happy to quite aggressively grind and stuff. At the moment, I'm playing Apex Legends and Wolcen as well. I love Star Citizen, and it's certainly a game. I played like E for like 6 years. I played World of Warcraft for probably about the same. Yes, I've listened to Pedro's new Babbage soundtrack. It's absolutely fantastic. Probably one of my favorite pieces he's made. Do you not agree that a large part of all this is making life aboard ships and ship systems a reality with ship roles, etc.? Well, it's an important part of the game, yeah, for sure. How large do you think the universe would be when Star Citizen eventually hits beta? When it hits beta, probably up to 10 systems for like a beta. Do you think Amazon has tried to purchase CIG? No. Why would they? They might be working together on tech and stuff, and engine. Hey, Board, what do you think they can do to make the flight model and space combat more enjoyable in Star Citizen? I don't really know. Like, I'd have to sit down and really think about what I liked, but it would be what I liked. And also, a lot of stuff I don't know until it's in my hands. So, a lot of the stuff that I can sort of like ignore that's bad, because I know that will probably be good in the future, but I'm not sure if I'm the person to say how it should be fixed. When will the P-52 detach from the Connie? Once we have ship-to-ship docking. They said that will happen at the same time. How much is the Carrick, and when do you think they will put on sale again? It's $500 at the moment. I think it will go on sale again this or next weekend. Probably next weekend, and end of Feb. Do you agree that Origin is Space Bentley? Nah, it's not Rolls-Royce, because that's just about luxury, and both Bentley and Origin care about performance as well. I don't know much about cars, mate. They're the ones with wheels, aren't they? On the note of Origin being like Bentley, how about Origin's special editions like British Racing Green and Silver? Oh, so I want a huge amount of aftermarket customization for ships. Like, I want people to be able to go crazy with that. That's the expression that we need. When do you envision the Polaris in game? Q3 2021? Do you think there will be a small escort carrier for patrol duty in the future? Smaller than the Idris, but bigger than the Polaris? You could use the Kraken. You could use the Idris. I would like to be an NPC in game. Let's make that clear. When I'm able to get my head scanned again, I will get it scanned. I played World of Warships a long time ago. Yeah, I used to love World of Warships and World of Tanks. I was thinking, why not add secondaries to the ships in Star Citizen? Thoughts? Secondaries? What? What other info is there on AI crewmen aside from a body and a turret? Can we send them off to do missions? So we're not sure to what extent they'll do things. So aboard ship, they should have tasks and they have to run that ship fully. But they require sort of like orders to where to go and what to engage. But they will they're smarter than an AI turret that you put like an AI blade in. But they're not as good as human crewmen. Saw the Carrack an instant full mast. Oh, did you go see a doctor about this? Probably not. The chat is a bit monstrous. What's my favourite legend? Lifeline. I play Lifeline the most. In Apex. Her shield that is invincible when she's picking people up is so useful when people are trying to assault you when you're trying to pick someone up, because you start picking it up, you work out what's going on, and then you, as they get to a certain position, you can sort of stop and then shoot them quick. Hazel, my auto moderator has stopped you spamming. That's what it says it's doing. I'll have to have a look at that later, because it'll take me too much faff now. But just be aware. Not sure if you were spamming or not, but I've just come down to where you were speaking a lot. So apologies if you were being legit. If you were entirely being legit and not spamming, maybe talk slightly less so I can read. Can't read that quick. Oh, what? No. No. Why you do this? I don't even know that is. What is your name? Username? No. Why you give me $500? I don't. No. No. You need to put message in. Username, whoever you are. What? No. You Is that Huntress? Oh man. Are you alright, Cage Geek, mate? Hope you're doing well. Why? No, I wanted to go. I was gonna say I was gonna go and have a nap. You just give me $500. I don't know why. I'm just talking about stars and answering questions from the chat. Yeah, I've been very tired recently. I've got an Apex Legends t-shirt on. I don't know why people like me. I'm a prick. At best. I don't know why people would give me money. I've got a load of hard drives now, thanks to that. Appreciated username. I don't even know who you are. Oh, he wants pictures of PP. Oh. Yeah, apologies for not dealing with the bots quicker or whatever that was. Apologies. But someone gave me a load of money, so... How did CIG fuck up the Carrick so bad? I don't think it's that bad. Like, the one at CitizenCon wasn't finished. And I think that the improvements they've shown for it, I think they're good. Yeah, the changes they made to it, they're reasonable and good. I'm hoping that generous donator appears. Like, message me at contact@boredgamer.co.uk if you want to be known properly, and I will dedicate my firstborn child for you. $500 a child. Anyone else? Anyone else want to buy a child? You can. $5, that'll do. Jake Shear, your videos get me through my daily grind. I appreciate that. Look, okay. So the dream is, for me, is that I get Zin working for me before June, and that we can make more Star Citizen content than I'm already making. I have to get better video, better camera angles, all that sort of stuff. My stuff will be edited to a significantly better degree with additions of animations and memes and stuff that makes it a bit more, you know, board gamery eventually. Like it gets a bit of character to it, but it's still and of a higher quality and sort of like relevant footage and that sort of stuff. So better footage, more footage, a bit of an editing style, more content, but also that I'll be able to play Star Citizen a lot more live and get a lot more gameplay, and that'd be interesting. And having Zin there to play with and organise my community is going to be really useful for that. She's also a grill, which is great. The crowds go wild for grills that play games to a high level. And she's grumpy as well. She's a grumpy one. I know you're watching. I know you're watching. I can sense it. Do you think we'll have to buy dishes and clean stuff once food and drink comes out so we can store cups and plates? I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we've seen food on plates. I suspect that stuff will just get cleaned up. I don't fucking know. In the short term, probably not. In the long term, maybe. Oh, beloved prick. Oh, mate. Take the damn money board. Thank you very much. Mate, I've taken the money. I'll take the money. Don't get me wrong. I know I want to associate that money to someone that deserves an association. I love you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Currently an anonymous donor. Stop. Why is everyone's... Stop sending money. Bob Mitch, don't send me money. You're a content creator as well. I should send you money. Laying a claim there to nail aforementioned firstborn to the front of your javelin as it's speared into a Planet SCM speed. I mean, that's pretty dark, dude. It's pretty dark. Thanks. Thanks for the money. Thanks for the money. I'll just have a child that's just got this really long double-barreled surname. Like donated names. My name is Robert Johnson, Bob Mitch, username Vampire, Red Huntress, Lols or Ruffle Cakes. How do you think CIG will make missions for bigger ships to accommodate operation cost, i.e. the Kraken, Idris, Javelin, or the 890 jump? Yeah, so in real life, like ships of war, capital ships, they are incredibly expensive to use and to run and to build and won't make their money back. They are assets for defense as an asset almost. So there needs to be hugely expensive, high risk, high reward missions to make use of these ships and org wars and stuff like that to make them relevant. How that's going to work and exactly what that's going to be, we don't know yet, because we've only seen the tip of the iceberg with risk-reward type missions. And we've only seen the smaller ships, really. I mean, the 890 jump's pretty big, but it's not really a combat ship. Thank you very much, Harlock, for subbing. Very much appreciated. Oh. You're monstrous. You're monstrous. I don't understand. I appreciate, but I don't understand. I'll keep on making content, and I'll keep on responding to feedback. People got ideas they'd like me to do for Star Citizen content. I'm happy to try and new stuff and try working stuff in. Like, I want to do... So, the plan is, when Zin's working for me, to do at least 9 Star Citizen videos a week, some of which will be gameplay, and stream multiple times a week. Some of those streams will be Star Citizen and Star Citizen gameplay. Probably at least 3 a week, 2 a week, at least 2 a week, probably at least 3 a week. You are the man, the myth, the legend. You deserve all this, man. Appreciated, but my job, my self-implied job, all the babies, something pink will be on the end of their name so far. Don't you worry, something pink. Thank you very much appreciated. I'm just a dude, and I hope that I prove that anyone can do YouTube content if you work at it. Like, I mean, I started in like 2015, 2014, 2015, and it took a while before I found my niche and what I wanted to do. So, it's been a while now, and I've been covering Star Citizen properly for at least 4 years. But it took me a while to find a niche and to find a style, and I was very sort of like generic YouTuber that copied idiots. And now I'm my own form of idiot. How do you think you're going to finance the BoredGamer empire? Well, apparently just from doing live streams and people chucking money at me. Which is silly. Thank you, though. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Star Citizen 890 Jump. Got ships donating directly to me now. Gib. All hell username. I don't know who username is. I hope. You can use that $500 towards a trip to LA. Okay, so CitizenCon. I don't like traveling. CitizenCon is in LA this year, 10th of October. It's going to be the biggest CitizenCon yet, apparently. I would expect Squadron 42 release dates. I would expect Squadron 42 actors to be there. I would expect big things personally. That's my expectation. Lots of big things. Them trying to push Star Citizen to a much more mainstream state. I don't like traveling. I prefer to cover it from home. I get terrible anxiety about traveling long distances like that, and I wouldn't be able to make videos for multiple days because I'd be traveling and getting back. And at the moment, I think I prefer to cover it from home. Maybe I'll go to a watch event or a watch party in the UK or something like that. But I can be convinced, but it won't be financially to be convinced. Well, I suppose there is a financial element to the fact that I don't want to not make videos during that period. I want to make as many as I can. Do you think Cloud Imperium will introduce planets with hostile environments with only specific ships can safely traverse? I think that to some extent, yes. And I think that you'll be able to get specific armor for ships and specific facilities for ships and your own armor and gear to prevent you getting fried or whatever in those atmospheres. So, yes, to some degree. They are working on animals. We'll start to see sort of like pretty derpy animals in the short term, like rats and things, the oni crabs and that sort of stuff I would expect. And they do want animals with full schedules, and some of them will be dangerous, all that sort of jazz. So far behind on chat. Right, we're going to power through this. I don't even know what chuff is, but thanks very much for the chuff. First Biker69, you are much more informative than RSI. Well, so I'm good at repackaging content and interaction, okay? So that's what I'm good at. Research, interaction, repackaging. That's what I do, because it is RSI's information for the most part that I've got. And I'm just relaying it into a format so that I'm interacting with you now live. You're doing a great job, Bored. Question: will force and or threat-based conversations of other races to Christianity be feature in Star Citizen. I think they are largely moving away from religion in game, although you can sort of have organisations that are more sort of like based on that, I suppose. But I think they are moving away from modern religion in Star Citizen. What is happening to the Taurus? Any ideas why it's delayed? No, beyond either they just didn't have the right people available to do it, or it's possible that they are redoing the cockpits or bits of all of the constellations at the same time, which is why it's taking longer. I would expect to see the Taurus this year, though, whatever. Conspiracy theory, Chris Roberts floated $500 so BoredGamer can continue to create material and advertise Star Citizen. Oh my god. Dun dun dun. Gonna have to send me a lot more than $500, I'll tell you that. Chris? When can we name our ships? So I think it's going to be part of aftermarket customization. But I have no idea when that's coming. Obviously that's quite important. It would have to be after full persistence. Probably after server meshing as well, but after full persistence, because they need to track all the items in the databases, and that's sort of part of full persistence. Full persistence is something they are working on for this year. They also need to build all the systems in place to have your ships customizable, so the UI and stuff. But they do have this building block system now that it's a lot quicker to do UIs for. So. Will we see 4.1 on the roadmap tomorrow? That is the plan. I would expect it, yes. Any info when the new patch will come out? I would expect a new patch for this weekend for 3.8.2 on the PTU, so the test servers, and I would expect that to have the Carrick in and probably be... I think it's just going to be FIFA Karty if that's the case. We should see 3.8.2 live, whatever though, for next week. So next Friday is when I would expect to see the live build, whatever. Right. I do appreciate the love. Did they keep the cool metal shields that go down over the view? I believe the shutters, to some extent, or the armored cockpit is supposed to be still there. We'll have to wait and see. Or at least they're still planned. Yeah, so the thing I'm most looking forward to in 2020 is dynamic mission system and dynamic economy stuff. Like, those two things need to come together. Tony Zerovic had a great presentation at CitizenCon last year with his Quanta and his quantum system for the generation and simulation of NPCs and stuff. We just need that in game. Like, that is so important. You alright, just Bam Bam? What's up? We're just chatting about general whatever the hell people wanted to talk about. Someone donated $500 at me because they're monstrous. Someone earlier donated $100 because they're monstrous. They're all monstrous. There was a big sub-train or money train or something, and they broke me. I love you. Any clue on the next concept sale will be? So they typically do on mid-February, so that's passed. So I'm expecting now that there's going to be a mini sort of like 3.8.2 sale thing, and then they'll do a straight to Flyable sale for something for 3.9. So a vehicle or ship that we haven't seen yet. Not a $500,000, no, just $500. No, I say just $500. A lot of money. Yeah, so they're adding temperature and climate features in 3.9. Mainly that's going to be you can die if you are overexposed in like a snowstorm and you're not wearing the appropriate gear. So the reason you need equipment for insulation in atmosphere over space is because of conduction. So like you need to wear warm clothes because on the ground, because the wind and everything that's sapping heat off you. Whereas in space, there's not the same sort of conduction coming off you. You're not rapidly losing heat. That's my really derpy analysis of how that works. I think you only lose it via radiation in space, that sort of thing. You know when the new tier of PCs from Shadow are coming out? I know they delayed some of them, and so I need to recheck. I'll do an update on my channel for Shadow at some point soon anyway, and I'll update some stuff on my website about it. I love Shadow. I'm planning to stick with them for the long term. I think they are the best streaming service at the moment for stuff. I mean, Stadia was nothing to really fight against because it was just so poorly implemented. GeForce Now has some good stuff, but it doesn't have Star Citizen yet. And it doesn't give you the same sort of customization and freedom that Shadow does. Shadow just gives you a Windows 10 gaming PC. It goes, do what you want with that, customize that, bam, that's great. It allows you to do a lot more. But that's my take on it. I love Shadow. That's why I shield for them. Same as NordVPN. If you want a cheap VPN service, try Nord. Bam! And use the code BoredGamer for both of those services for free money off. Discount? I love you. Mwah. Why have people sent me so much money? I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Or some guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Really looking forward to the weekend. So tomorrow, going up to Manchester via plane. Gonna spend a night there with a load of mates. Have a couple of drinks and delicious foods. Doing a mixed grill when I get there. And then the day after, on the Saturday, I'm seeing Baby Metal. So I'm a bit sad that maybe the CARRACK might be playable tomorrow. But if it's an Eva Carty, I wouldn't be able to make content with it anyway. If it's like first wave PT, I'd be really sad because I'll be like, I can make videos on the CARRACK and I could be playing with it. That's assuming the CARRACK does come out tomorrow, which I would expect, at least to Eva Carty. But as I said, that's my take on that. It will be live by the end of next week because that's the end of February, or at least it should be. Should be. I mean, there are delays and things that happen, but CIG, I think they need to hit some home runs. Have you ever had anything embarrassing happen live on stream? I don't really get embarrassed in the same way that other people do. But I've never been caught doing anything weird like that. Do you think they will raise the price of the Star Runner like they have with the CARRACK? Yes. When ships are released, typically they raise the price. Hercules A2 gunship, best idea for a ship ever. I mean, it's a cool ship for assaulting the ground, isn't it? But it's stupidly expensive, and it's definitely one I'd say get in game. Also, Stadia is giving Google even more power. They try to dominate every field now, trying to become a monopoly in too many fields. Maybe. But Stadia is just not a good service at the moment, in my opinion, at all. Like, it's terrible. When can we expect being able to turn off individual ship systems like lights or gravity? You'll get more and more tactile functionality this year for stuff like that. I think that's part of the HUD system and cockpit experience systems that they're putting out this year. When will I get my in-game mustache? They have been working on hair, and they have been working on more facial types and facial hair as well. The way they want to do facial hair is interesting because they want it to look really good. So, I'd expect that facial hair is pretty much tied to Squadron 42 as well. Does the map table on the CARRACK have a use at all? Not yet, but in the future it will have functionality. It is supposed to be a mapping room for helping you travel and map around the universe and discover things. But I don't believe it has any form of function other than looking pretty and being hologrammy. Maybe showing what's in your general facility derpily in 3.9. They're 3.8.2. I live by Southampton Airport. So Manchester is literally just 45 minutes away, basically, from me. There's 2 flights to Manchester at least a day from Southampton. When do you think we'll see armor and physicalized components? So physical damage, physicalized components, and physical inventory, I think, are all coming in 2020. 4.1, 4.2 would be my expectations for those features. With long-term persistence now on the PTU, does it also save SCUs bought in cargo? Okay, so SCU on ships, I'm not sure if it's going to be saved between patches. Your Alpha UEC, your ships, and your items and gear should be saved. Maybe it will be the SC, what's in the cargo hold as well, but that has not been confirmed. At least I don't know. Does that help save if you get a disconnect? So if you get disconnected and you're unable to log back into your instance with your ship there, if you're not able to get back to your ship's effectively lost and you have to reclaim it. If it's reclaimed, then you lose the cargo hold. Do you think it will get growing hair like in Red Dead Redemption 2? I think they'll look into stuff like that and they'll look at it, but I think that the more sensible thing of way of doing stuff is just being able to customize your character and having shops where you can customize it on the fly as well. What about changing the size and shape of our characters? So everyone currently has the same body shape and size. Male models and female models, that's about it. And then the heads are different. And they might have other things on your bodies later, but then they'd need to balance them for being shot at and stuff like that, and armors. So will the Ion and Inferno have some really nice pew pew sounds? Yes. They're really... The sound work in Star Citizen is pretty damn good. And I think you're going to be... I think it's going to be awesome to see that chain cannon going off. If the Carrick is released tomorrow to Ivacari, how long do you expect it to be live build? I expect it to be live for end of next week. So 27th, 28th. Sorry, 28th, 29th of February. The live build. That would be my expectation. Like, I think they're almost certainly gonna hit that. We're gonna see the Carrack inside Star Citizen a little bit later this evening. I think a lot of people will be excited about that. And hopefully a lot more detail. Hopefully that CIG are going to continue to make some good video content now again. So looking forward to that as well. Will we be able to open the doors to the Carrack hangar from inside the Pisces, or will someone have to be inside the Carrack to do that? That is a good question. I actually expect that you would have to get someone else to open them in the short term. That's really interesting. A lot of people have said, oh yeah, we want to be able to remote access things like that. I was like, well, you probably don't need to. Maybe there's a way to just open them while you're in the hangar bay, so that maybe there's just a button that you can push and will open them for 2 minutes before closing again. Yeah, do you see that? Push the button, then get into Pisces. That makes sense. But in the future, I mean, I'd like to be able to have very limited remote access to ships maybe when you're inside them. You don't want it to be able to just remote access everything from your mobiGlas, because they want stuff in Star Citizen to be quite tactile, or to have people that you have to communicate with to do. Should I melt my Cutlass and Herald and get a Star Runner instead? I would, because I love the Star Runner. Considering Crusader makes some pretty large ships, do you think they would have a capital ship as well? In the future, yeah. I think you'll see capital ships for them. Right. Can you think Star Citizen is a scam? What makes you believe otherwise? Why do you... What? What? Why don't... What? That's a ridiculous thing to say. It's clearly not a scam. You could argue that Star Citizen might be a bad game when it's completed, or it might... everyone has a different view of it, or it might be mismanaged or something. Star Citizen is a project that's clearly being built. They have 550 plus employees. They are spending the money on the development of the game. It's not lining their pockets, although you certainly could argue that people are getting paid, maybe getting paid too much, but you don't know how much they're getting paid. So that would be an argument of, I don't know how much they're getting paid, because I think they might, but that would be very much an I reckon argument. So they're clearly spending the money on the game. Is the development slow? Yes. I can argue that. Arguing it's a scam is ridiculous. Well, what do you mean by scam? You could redefine scam to, well, I mean people are having to wait a long time for it. Yes, the development's slow. That is not what the definition of a scam is. They're clearly doing what they said they're doing. They're just doing it quite slowly. And, I mean, they are making much bigger progress than they ever have now. Yes, slow, but there was a turning point in the sort of like 2016 where they started to develop much more quickly. I think they sort of like rejigged everything around from towards the end of 2015 and rescoped the game. So you can certainly argue whether that's the best idea or not. You could certainly argue as well, has this scope of the game changed so much from Squadron 42 that it's basically a different project from the Kickstarter project. So what a silly question. And I mean, you're entitled to your opinions and asking them. So I get annoyed when people say, why don't you think it's a scam? I was like, well, what sort of question is that? Why do you think it is a scam? How can you possibly justify it as a scam? And there's lots of other arguments you could make, but that's just an odd one. Will we be able to walk while using the mobiGlass? I would expect that, yes. In the future. Makes sense. Board, Mercury Star Runner versus Drake Corsair. Probably the Star Runner, unless you want to do exploration and then the Corsair. But the thing is that when you have a Corsair, you'll probably go, well, actually, I want a Carrick. So I like the Mercury Star Runner. I think it's pretty awesomely multi-role and interesting. I mean, it's not going to be as explory, but it's going to be touching on other stuff that's doing data running and lots of other stuff within a system. Very, very awesome multi-role ship. Why do alien races only have one ship manufacturer? Sort of like it's because they're the human models of that ship. They have one manufacturer because they're the ones that cater for the human market. Is the sort of idea. It makes sense in the short term. They'll probably expand that in the future. Hey Board, greetings from Germany. I follow your vids since years. My English is not so good. Not so good. But I understand you very well. Thank you for your very good work. Very sympathetic. Hope to see you in the verse. Thank you very much, Lost Ezekiel. Very much appreciated. Thank you for the money. I appreciate you understand me, even though I don't speak German. Guten Tag. Ich habe einen Bruder. Mein Name ist BoredGamer. So yeah, that's my German offerings today. Maybe next time we'll have some other languages. Learn languages with BoredGamer. Do you think they'll also be introducing docking colours at rest stops, so capital ships without landing gears, like the Orion, can stop momentarily and take a shuttle planet side? So there's going to be ship-to-station docking, so that you can dock larger ships and other ships to stations without landing. Yes. Apparently, today's Inside Star Station should have a tour of the Carrick, but they're certainly looking at the Carrick in more detail. I'm not planning to live stream that. I'll do a video of it. So what I'll do is when that Inside Star Citizen comes out and any news that's done between today and tomorrow morning, I'll get into a video before I leave on Friday. You probably won't see a video from me on Saturday, but you will see one from me on Sunday, assuming I'm not dead. Like dead tired. Or dead. The aliens themselves have... Sorry, we talked about that. The aliens themselves only have one shipbuilding company or design language. Sort of. The race has been built around a single manufacturer type, typically. These are Banu ships, because it would be too complex at this stage to have multiple manufacturers for them. However, I would expect to see potentially more manufacturers for alien and hybrid ships in the future. What editing do you do on your audio? Your voice sounds super different on stream as opposed to your normal videos. I talk slightly differently. I get closer to my microphone and I clean a lot of it. So it's just a bit more boomy and close like that. Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I do talk slightly differently as well. Will you fly the Misk Reliant Mako when replying? Ugh, I hate the Reliance. But yes, I will get a news van. I will get a Mako. We'll have to see what the sort of gameplay loop is for that. Is it relevant to me doing YouTube and streaming and stuff? Is it bad to use bored vids to fall asleep? No. I watch a load of other YouTubers, sometimes high-octane stuff to go to sleep. I really appreciate that. That means that you are comfortable with me as a content creator or as a voice to sleep to. It's slightly weird to me, but I totally understand it. I do that with loads of other content creators. I mean, I've occasionally fallen asleep to Twerk's, Salty Mike's Answer the Call. Not when I was trying to sleep either, it was just boring. No, when I was trying to sleep, like I listen to stuff like that. I listen to a huge amount of other people's Star Citizen content. So I get a lot of my ideas from other people, but also it allows me to keep my sort of like finger on the pulse of what people are talking about and what videos to do. But yes, I am going to go. People have given me far too much money, so before people give me any more money or do stupid stuff or ask sensible questions that I can only answer stupidly, I'm going to dash off. I'll try and get a video out for between now and tomorrow. It will be covering Inside Star Citizen and any other Star Citizen news. Maybe if there's been a roadmap update before I go, great. I'll have a look at 4.1. If there's anything mentioned on Eva Carti or something goes to Eva Carti, I can probably mention the patch has gone into Eva Carti if it has been or whatever, and we can talk about that. There's some cool stuff coming from CIG soon. I know that I can't say anything more than that. What else? Yeah. Got any other quick questions I can answer? We saw some... so in the data mines, there was some information about some of the Aries ships, although it could have just been for the concept phase. We don't know if the Aries is being worked on now, but we obviously have seen a gear towards Crusader ships in general this year. So, are there any plans for ship customization, adding docking bay to a Cutlass or side gun from the Valk? You'll get modular choices with certain ships and certain rooms and certain areas. That can be quite minor stuff like pot plants you can put in the ship, but it could also be changing the whole room up in certain ships to have entirely different functions, like in the Caterpillar, its modules. And then obviously you get some other choices when it comes to loadouts and that sort of stuff. And then you'll have eventually aftermarket customization of your ship where you can put decals on it and change the name and have all the colors different, things like that. That's what the expectation of that is. Is the CARRACK confirmed for tomorrow? No, it is not confirmed for tomorrow. I would expect it to be tested this weekend. So Friday or Saturday, I would expect it to go to Eva Carti. That's my expectation, just from knowing how CIG operate. I doubt they just put a ship straight to live without having it tested. And I doubt as well that they would put it on open PTU without the Eva Carti testing it. It's possible it would be in an open PTU, but only Eva Carti will have access to it to spawn it. Have you done that sort of stuff before? But expect the CARRACK live by 28th, 29th of February. Any fears that CIG will only put story missions into Squadron 42 and only random gen quests into Persistent Universe? No worries about that at all. They've said that in the Persistent Universe they wanted a good mix of quests. Some of them sort of like more theme park ridey, some of them procedurally generated pretty much entirely. But if they did do them all procedurally generated, expect them to have big story elements and arcs and major parts of this stuff that all connects sensibly, like they're working on that sort of system. It's going to be quests with a big amount of variance. Could you please notice me before clapping your hands in front of your mic? Oh, notice. Oh, give me notice. Crap. Sorry, I misunderstood. The clapping. Did I do it again? Sorry. Apologize. Got a bit confused. There. Right. Thank you so much. Almost did it again. What do you think every company... Do you think we will ever get from every company ship variants? For example, we have a Kraken from Drake and get a Banu Carrier or Anvil? Oh yeah, I think we'll see a lot more types of ship from all the manufacturers and stuff. I think you'll see like you'll see a Banu Carrier and stuff like that probably in the future. That makes sense. You'll see a Xi'an cargo ship. You'll see a Tavaran fighter. Right, I'm going. We're going to go find someone else to host. There's a lot of people watching me today. It's like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people. It's like 700 total. Why are you watching me? What have I done? What do I even know? I appreciate the love, though. Thank you very much. People chucking far too much money at me. We're going to go host someone for the lols and the loves. We're going to go host Maya, because I love his face. Give him some love. He was... actually... Well, I think I'll keep some stuff secret. But I love you guys. Very much appreciated. Raid, / raid. I think what I'm allowed to say, what I'm not allowed to say about certain things. Right. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for watching. Very much appreciated. I hope we see the Carrick tomorrow or Saturday, at least in Evacardi's hands. It'd be great if it's beyond that. If it's just Evacardi have access to it, but it's in the open PTU, then people will be able to report on it, which would be great. I'm going to be away from tomorrow afternoon till Sunday afternoon, but I will get videos back up on Sunday. I should try and get a video up between now and Friday sort of afternoon. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the feedback. If you've got anything else you'd like to ask me, contact at BoredGamer.co.uk and we'll get straight through to me. If you want to poke me about anything, you can go to my discord.gg /BoredGamer. Chat to me there. And yeah, looking forward to playing more, to having a little bit of a holiday this weekend. And I love your faces. Mwah. Take care, guys. And I will see you soon. I will put in Maya's thing here. Right. Love you. Peace out. Take care. Talk to you soon.